Good afternoon, sir. Are you Kirk Edwin Jensen?
Yes, I have documents in here that I had just filed with the clerk, and I need to submit them here.
Is that this thing called non-statutory abatement?
That's it.
All right, I got it. I provided a copy to Miss Davis. It's entitled Kirk Edwin Jensen, Reign Citizen, Reign of Heavens, a set apart place for that address. Non-statutory abatement.
When you mention your credentials, it raises an important question about what you actually mean. Are you referring to something officially recognized, or are you pointing to documents that have no real legal standing? The court is clearly focused on whether the identification you provided is valid under the law. Items like unofficial licenses or homemade paperwork don't meet legal standards and won't be accepted as proof of identity. This moment highlights a key issue in the case: the difference between personal claims and what the law actually recognizes as legitimate.
File number 23660ST, charges operating with no license. Charge 23661, charged with operating with no license in your possession. I don't think you can be convicted of both of those, as I said at our arraignment. And then the third count is a civil infraction, no proof of insurance. Could probably be charged as no insurance, but it was charged as a civil infraction.
I have the proof of that here.
May I see it? All right, that's the person that owned the car.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Let Debbie see that. All right, we had kind of a chase our tails around at the time of the arraignment. You are, what do you wish to be, a Reign citizen?
That I have a social compact and a body politic, which gives the authority for the credentials that I had when I had given them to Mr. Brooks at the time.
And just like that, a poor decision made earlier is now creating serious consequences. Choosing to make and use a homemade passport may feel clever in the moment, but it quickly turns into a major legal problem. If the person refuses to resolve the minor charges today, the situation can easily escalate into something much more serious. Time and again, we see this pattern with sovereign citizens. Instead of admitting a mistake and moving on, they double down. They often choose a far tougher legal path, risking long-term damage, simply to avoid acknowledging that they were wrong in the first place.
And
The officer that wrote the ticket.
right. You had said that you were going to try to get those from him and see them for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know whether Miss Davis got that or not.
We did get additional information from the agency in Detroit regarding passports, and they confirmed that they are fraudulent. So if this doesn't get resolved today with the plea as charged to these misdemeanors, then we will be amending to have felony charges.
Judge Middleton is firmly taking control of the courtroom and making his stance very clear today as he talks about Burgos, which is the correct pronunciation. A few interesting thoughts come to mind that are worth sharing. First, there's a moment in Through the Looking Glass where Alice talks about her head being full of ideas, even though she doesn't quite understand them. Strangely enough, that's exactly how it feels watching a sovereign citizen try to argue their case in court. A lot is being said, but very little actually makes sense. Second, in the same story, Humpty Dumpty describes a Borgov as something that looks messy and confusing, which feels oddly familiar here. It's almost surprising how closely that old description matches what we see today, even though the book was written long before modern courtrooms existed.
People call themselves different things. The common vernacular term had become sovereign citizen.
And I do not claim that in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
I rebut that. I completely rebut that statement.
All right. Well, I tried to think of a term for it.
Well,
just a minute.
Okay.
Let me get my thoughts together here. We had a guy, Mr. Aiken, a couple of weeks ago, and we went round and round with him, and he wanted a jury trial, and he didn't show up, and then he was found in contempt, and he went to jail. And I said, well, how about willfully misinformed defendant? That's too cumbersome. Or willfully ignorant defendant. And then I was laying in bed between then and now, and I thought, follow me here, Mimsy were the borough groves. It's like, what the heck does that mean? It's from the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. It was written in the 1800s. It's a nonsense poem that doesn't mean anything. And more importantly, there was a science fiction story written maybe during the war called Mimsy Were the Borough Groves. It's a very interesting story about some toys that were sent from the future back to here. It's pretty relevant right now with cell phones. And the third line is Mimsy were the borough groves. And what is a borough grove? It doesn't make any sense. So my term for these people that come in with this kind of nonsensical jabberwocky is going to be borough groves. So this is borough grove. It doesn't mean anything, and neither do your pleadings.
You honestly couldn't invent a situation like this. Here we have someone actually asking for their own fake passport and fake driver's license to be included as evidence in court. What makes this even more surprising is that these same items are being used to show that a serious crime was committed that in most cases, a defendant would fight hard to keep that kind of evidence out of the trial. But since this person chose to represent themselves, they end up making decisions that work directly against their own interests. That it's a clear example of how acting as your own lawyer can quickly turn into a costly mistake when you don't understand how the legal system really works.
This non-statutory abatement and all this stuff about self-claimed contracts and Exhibit B and C has no lawful effect. So the question I have here is, do you wish to have a trial on these matters, or do you wish to enter a plea to this?
So does the body politic and social compact, is that being disregarded?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll go with the trial.
All right, then I will. Do you want to have an attorney to assist you?
No.
All right. You sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. The prosecutor is going to charge you with some sort of felony charge. What charge did you have in mind, Ms. Davis?
I believe that Prosecutor Morgan looked it up, and it was fraudulent documentation, basically manufacturing fraudulent passport and a fraudulent license.
We talked about Conch Republic passports. Whatever you had, and this false passport and some claim that somehow you had an international driver's license. You have to have a driver's license from somewhere to have an international driver's license. And this isn't it.
Mm-hmm. And I had that too. I have that too, yes.
All right. Well,
one last question. The documents that were taken by Mr. Brooks, I want to make sure that those are entered in as evidence.
I have to say, watching Judge Middleton in action is always interesting. That is a straightforward, no-nonsense judge who doesn't waste time or dance around the issue that in this moment. He clearly explains where the defendant went wrong and why the argument being made simply doesn't hold up. That he also openly addresses why cases involving sovereign citizens often test the court's patience. Most importantly, he lays out exactly what consequences the defendant is now facing, leaving no confusion about the seriousness of the situation ahead.
do you have those, Deborah?
I do not have physical possession of them. As all evidence, it's held by the sheriff's department and the evidence lockers. So certainly we would introduce those as exhibits.
All right. Well, you're always polite enough, but you're
I stand
this.
firm.
Well, this
I
it's the
stand
problem
firm
with
on
this
that.
this is insidiously dangerous. People decide on their own that the rules don't apply to them. And even though they're polite and respectful, you're yanking my chain, and this is a waste of our court's time and Miss Davis's time.
I intend to prove that
All
these
right.
things are correct.
All right, maybe you do, but they aren't. This stuff is meaningless. And if everybody decided like you, that they don't need a driver's license, they don't participate in our social contract, and they wish to use our public roadways and our streetlights and our court system, but hey, it doesn't apply to me, things would break down. The rule of law would cease to exist. So it's polite, but it's insidious and it's dangerous. What's next? I don't have the social contact, so I can punch somebody in the nose. I can kill somebody. I can sell drugs. The rules don't apply to me because I'm a RAIN citizen. Well, it don't work that way, at least not here in Michigan or in St. Joe County. Same rules apply to you that apply to everybody else. And you're going to get charged with a felony document fraud case. Do you want a bench trial or a jury trial?
Jury.
Yeah, the same thing. It's hypocritical. The rules don't apply to you, but you don't mind bringing in 30 of your citizens to come in and
It's
hear
going to be
this
just
stuff.
me. It's just going to be just me.
Did I hear that correctly? Or did something surprising just happen? For a moment, it almost sounded like Judge Middleton acknowledged that a sovereign citizen actually made a valid point. That kind of moment is rare enough to make anyone stop and rewind. That IT certainly catches your attention, because it goes against what we usually expect in these cases. Even so, it doesn't change the overall outcome, but it does make this hearing even more interesting to watch.
I'm going to set for a jury trial. Mimsy were the Borough Groves. That's what this amounts to. 'Twas brilling on their slithy ties. It's a bunch of nonsense. And so, Mr. Borough Grove, I will see you on August 16th at 8:30.
Your Honor, just to clarify a few things in anticipation of that. As far as service, Mr. Jensen, will you accept service at the email that you have on this non-statutory abatement?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so just wanted the clarification that I'm going to send a witness list to him, make sure that he has the supplemental report from.
Yeah, there is
Detective
one thing
Steers.
that it does have some merit in here. He asked for discovery. So yes, your request for discovery is honored, and the prosecution will provide all discovery to the defendant.
Oh, so now you're asking to involve the person who knowingly allowed you to drive their vehicle without a valid driver's license. What you may not realize is that this action can also create legal trouble for them, not just for you under Michigan law, specifically MCL 257.904. Allowing an unlicensed driver to operate a vehicle is classified as a misdemeanor. Instead of pulling someone else into your legal situation, it would be wiser to focus on addressing your own case responsibly this moment. Clearly shows how a lack of understanding of the law can cause problems to multiply rather than be resolved.
On this document that was filed
And what
today.
email will I use to respond?
Yours would, the email that it comes from, which
Okay.
is PRLS at
Okay.
stjosephcountymi.org. As far as witnesses, the people would intend to call Deputy Kevin Brooks, Detective Sergeant Brian Steers, Chris Catone or Catone from the TSA, and James Herdman, Special Agent Diplomatic Security Service from the Detroit office.
Will all that be included with the email?
Yes, I will do a written witness list. So
What's
you
that
have it.
officer's name?
The last one, James Herdman, Herdman. And then potentially this Cheryl Pulaski.
The owner of the car?
Yes. I don't believe there might have been another backup officer. Let me double check. I don't know if we'll need him, but
Even though you have these mistaken beliefs, what's your objection to having an attorney to help you with this?
I do not choose to have any bar or associates representing me.
All right. If it is not charged as a felony, in the meantime, you're to be here August 16th at 8:30.
Okay.
And do you have any witnesses that you wish to call?
Potentially the owner of the car. I'm not sure at this point, but that would be one potential minimum.
So it appears that August 16th has been set as the next court date for this individual. That means this case isn't over yet, and there's still more to come as the legal process moves forward. Before wrapping things up, though, Judge Middleton takes a moment to shift the tone slightly. Instead of ending on tension alone, he offers a brief but positive message to close out the session that it's a small reminder that even in serious court proceedings, there's room for calm, clarity, and a more constructive note before everyone heads out.
Other
Just a minute.
witnesses, would they be available?
One precaution, the owner of the car might have a Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
Mhm.
If they're allowing you to drive the car without an operator's license, that could be a misdemeanor in and of itself. So that's something to consider. But we'll address it further. We'll see what Mr. Marvin and Ms. Davis elect to do with this.
For further witnesses, would Zoom be available?
No, they be here live and in person.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? All right, you're free to go.
Thank you, Rami.
That makes me happy as well. And if you're feeling the same way, go ahead and show your support with a like. If you disagree with what you've seen, you're free to hit dislike too. Either way, your feedback matters. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below, because I always enjoy reading different perspectives. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. This channel stands for questioning claims, thinking critically, and staying informed. I'm Team Skeptic all the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
They choose to call themselves by different titles. Henceforth, I'm going to refer to this type of defendant as a Borough Grove. Makes me happy.